as a person, when that joke happened, even though I get what he was trying to do, I was like, I'm apologizing for that. What are your thoughts as a comedian, Kelly? What are your thoughts?
I don't like now. I see it as a joke. So in that sense, that apology was not. I don't think he needed to apologize.
You're asking where I get all my energy from. From the stage to the studio and to my desk. I am the energy god. And you can be one too.
You're listening to Adeshokbe Live, the Afrobeat podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Adeshokbe Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, where we break down the hottest topics in the culture live at the Afro Media Studios in London. As always, big shout outs to everybody subscribing, liking, commenting. We reached the 50,000 subscribers mark. That's huge, starting from absolutely nothing. So I want to say thank you to every single one of you guys and girls, because that's why we keep doing what we're doing. And as I say, let's get the subscriptions going up so we don't have to wait for other platforms to promote our culture, and we could do it by ourselves.
A whole fact.
Now, this is brought to you by the Energy God Energy Drink. Drink and be yourself. Stay energized. Get your energy levels up. For us, by us, follow us across all social media. Check out theenergygod.com for your orders. Place those orders right now.
Now.
Okay? Now, joining me in the studio this week to discuss the hot topics of the culture.
Yes, sir.
Our brothers from across the pod.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
pod.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Here's
sir.
a pun.
You already know. You know.
Across the pod.
And the pond as well.
And the pod, over in South London is my brothers from Fresh Off the Boat
Mama,
podcast.
we made it. Mama, we made it.
Yeah,
Here you go, I mean. Mama, we made it, bro.
We did.
You get it for real, for real. Listen, we need to have a board here to say, Fresh Off the Boat was here.
Podcast was
You
here.
know what I'm saying? I swear that you need to have that, bro.
Like I said, this is something that we need to do a little bit more often.
For sure.
Where we cross the pod.
Absolutely.
And discuss, because we basically have similar interests, promoting the culture, discussing the culture.
Yeah.
But, before we get into it, introduce yourselves to the Afrobeats podcast family.
Listen. You know what time it is. It's your boy Toby.
And it's Kelly.
You got me? This is Fresh Off the Boat podcast
Yeah.
crew.
The Afrobeats podcast.
You get what I'm saying? We are with the Godfather, you get me? We are with the Godfather and everything. Listen, it's 2-1, It's 2-1. You've been on our platform twice now.
So you need to
you
come
got
here
me?
2 times.
And I know.
No, but this
You
is
are
the
beating
beginning.
us right now.
This is the beginning
You
of
get me?
many more to come.
First
for
of
sure.
all, just briefly, as briefly as you can, talk to us about how Fresh Off the Boat podcast started.
Damn. We said about 2.5 years ago, right?
Yeah, about
2.5 years ago and everything. We came together. Obviously, I've known this guy right here. We've known each other since when we were youngins and everything. Like we grew up in the same neighborhood and all that. Kojo's not here today.
Yeah.
Shout
out Kojo.
Yeah, shout out Kojo, man. I've known Kojo for about 13 years, right? And also with Kelly as well. So how we started was, I've always been a podcast head. The Breakfast Club, Joe Budden, going back, Star, going
Star
back, going back and everything, and the pandemic happened, didn't it? So when the pandemic happened, before then,
Happened to all of us.
yeah, man. I've been thinking about, I love this podcast thing, because I listen, you don't want to know the conversations we have behind the scenes and everything, So we were like, let's start a podcast. And then the pandemic happened, which was like the best time because everybody was at home. Nothing was happening. We were all looking for content. We were like, fuck it, let's just create our own content, But then we said, all right, cool, let's do it. Until we saw the bill. We saw the budget, right?
Studio,
and exactly. And that was when we were like, do you really want to do this? But we were like, yeah. So we basically just put our funds together and everything and just started it. And that was basically how it started 2.5 years ago, And it's been growing since then. Not as big as yours here because listen, we are following you behind and everything.
Man,
but we're here though.
Yeah, but we're here though.
The thing is,
we are
because
here.
we're basically, what I've preached for a long time is that for us to have many platforms promoting our culture. And when I saw you guys online like 2 years ago, basically almost even nothing followers.
Nothing at all, bro.
I was excited to come because here are some other brothers in this space, which gives us another access, you know, because people forget that people always think that, it's Breakfast Club alone is not big enough to promote hip hop.
No, absolutely
By
not.
They need
itself,
$1 million worth of game. They
Yeah.
need Ebro in the morning.
Drink
they need,
Champs.
You know, they need Drink Champs. They need
Joe Budden.
everybody
Yeah, everyone.
to make it a real empire.
A movement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, talk to me about how podcasting, especially discussing the culture, how it's changed in your eyes in the last 2 years since you started doing this thing.
No, I think for the most part, we always chat like in our private time. We're always talking about the industry, like talking about the culture, all 24/7. So, but since the podcasting thing, I found, because obviously you now meet people, you now know the behind the scenes story.
Facts.
So it's like, okay, I thought it was
It's
this,
a little
but
bit
hey,
different.
is this
It's a
what it
little
is?
bit different.
Yeah.
It's not beer parlor chat.
I'm
Nah,
telling
nah,
you,
nah,
it's
Now
not.
you
it's,
need facts.
yeah, it's not smooth sailing no more. It's, you
Absolutely.
can see the rough and all that tumble in it. Yeah. So I guess what's changed me is like I now get to see and get that insight of what's happening in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and which is very good thanks to podcasting. I say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Wow.
absolutely. Because when you actually think about it and everything, like if you're not into the podcast thing, yeah, some people do their research and all that, but with the podcast, you now tend to do the research and everything, see where the industry is going as well.
Yeah.
You go, I mean, see the growth of the industry, see what people are doing behind the scenes and
Yeah.
everything. And you know, some people try to criticize podcasts. I'm talking about, you know, yes, there is so many podcasts out there, boom, boom, boom. But what usually happens is, at the end of the day, yeah, the people that take it serious, you know, are the ones that are going to pop out, if that makes
the
sense.
cream rises to the top.
Absolutely.
Consistency.
Absolutely.
And that defines the passion. That's what sets you apart from everybody
Yeah.
else. Help him dust his beard. Your beard has got some
Oh,
tissue
yeah.
on it.
Oh, yeah. Fam.
So,
Fam, who's kissing
Since
you,
we
bro?
since we're talking about the culture and topics in the culture, one of the reasons why I wanted to get you guys in today was to do stuff that we've done for a while on the Afrobeat podcast. You guys do it regularly. Let's look at some of the hot topics within the culture.
Absolutely,
I
man.
sent you some of those headlines. The first one that I'm excited to talk about first is the Odumodublvck project.
Odumo. Yeah.
Eziogu.
That is the truth.
Talk to me about, first of all, your thoughts about the artist,
Yeah, yeah,
Odumodu, and second of all, your thoughts about his project.
Oh, yeah? You want to go first?
Yeah,
or
no,
shall I
you go first. You
Mate, let me tell you something, yeah. The person itself, he's real. Right? He's real and for a very long time, because when I watch him and I hear him speak and everything, right? He's fairly new in the industry and he does not have a problem telling you,
Speaking his mind.
right? Speaking, you can tell. You get me? Like you can tell he's still raw. You get what I'm saying? And the thing about him, he does not have a problem telling you, listen, I'm still coming up, you know. I'm still grinding. You get what I'm saying?
Happy, and-
like yeah, like
whereas people want to stay away from those things sometimes.
exactly. People don't want to bring you into their grind. People don't want to bring you into like what they're going
The
through.
hustle.
The hustle itself.
They just want to appear like they're made.
Exactly my point. And we know that's cap. You get what I'm saying? We know that's cap. So when I watch him, when I listen to the guy speak, you know, he strikes me as Trump. I know, I'm gonna go left with Trump, right?
Like, he says,
In your face.
He is that type of person. Part of the reason why Trump was able to win, yeah, in America was because he spoke the language of the people.
yep,
You get what I'm saying? Like he's very relatable.
yep.
When you watch Odumodublvck speak, apart from the music, he's very relatable. You get what I'm saying? Now when you come to the music itself, right? That boy is something else.
Yeah.
That boy is something else.
I
When
think
you-
he's that new generation of artists.
What?
Now. It's like they're not thinking, okay, let's not ruffle any feather. They're just going in there, being themselves, and we love it.
No. Because bro, when you actually hear his album and everything, right? He's not trying to be rappity and double entendres and everything.
When I saw him a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
and the first thing I said to him was, I'm very happy with the route that he took with this album. And by that, I've been very vocal where I talk to rappers in Nigeria and in Africa that it's great to be a bar lord. But in Africa, to survive, you're gonna have to make music.
Yeah.
And you have to.
We don't care about that.
You have to make sure that your rap music or your hip hop is palatable to women, to young people.
Yep.
You know, most likely gets us into a mood of dancing and stuff. And when you listen to the project, from the first, second, third, fourth record, whether it's the one with Amaju, whether it's the Declan Rice, whether there's
Wale.
a little bit of rhythm and melodies to
The
it.
melodies all
He
over.
has good choruses,
Yeah.
you know. He
Catchy
MC
choruses,
Oluomo, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He's done stuff. Him and Black Bones, for
Oh,
example.
man,
Him
Black
and
Bones,
Zlatan, for example.
Fireboy as well.
That Tesla boy,
for me,
yeah, I was.
so for me,
crazy.
when I heard the project, I was very happy that they went that route. And I also want to give a kudos to whoever's A&R who selected how
They transitioning of the song.
Yes.
Yeah, transitioning the song.
because it was so seamless, it was easy to listen
Yeah.
to, and you could play it to anybody in the car.
Absolutely.
So it's not just like a rap Odumodublvck fan
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just bumping. If I have someone in the car that might not know his music, I'm comfortable playing
It's
the
very
project to them.
it's very palatable.
Because there'll be stuff in there that's palatable exactly
Yeah.
to them. And
Yeah.
and for me, that was incredible. I like the energy just as he spoke.
Yeah.
He's very blatant, you know, he's very raw, authentic. He says what's on his mind. It'll be interesting to see how that changes as growth within
Yeah,
the
yeah,
industry, as success, relationships come into the play.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
when
the
you have a
politics.
lot more relationships,
You can't be blasting everybody
you can't,
anymore.
you know, you can't be as blatant
Raw,
and raw as you probably were sometimes.
But sometimes we need that though.
of course,
Sometimes we need that, and
it's the energy that's always needed to change.
because at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it's the rawness, that got him this far, right? And sometimes artists, they forget the source that brought them to where they are, right?
Because
And
everybody
then
starts to chase the mainstream.
exactly.
And
You
when
got
you're
me?
chasing something, like my thoughts is, rather chasing, let them chase you. Odumodu is Odumodublvck. Him, TZ, the native record label, they know what his brand is. They've kept that brand like that.
Yeah.
And now everybody's coming for that brand.
Yeah.
But if he's trying to dilute it, like sometimes when I'm listening to his music, I find myself laughing. You know the intro he does where he's like,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, this guy's bugging.
Listen, bro.
Is he trying to be? You come to you mistake. Is he from over here or is he from Nigeria?
I
It's
just
like,
love, I love the way he does that.
I'm
And
telling
that's
you.
so different.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's him.
And it's difficult to have an identity in this music space.
Absolutely, because when you hear the guy rap and everything, right? He's basically the slangs that he's using and is just the street slangs that's what I'm saying. Like you can relate to him. You know, he's not dropping bars where you have to spend the next 2 days trying to break it down and see what you got me. Yes, we grew up in that era, like the Jay-Z's, Biggs, and everything, but that does not. It's been proven that does not work in where we're from.
In Afrobeat.
You got me? We just want to have fun. We just want to vibe. You know? So he's very conscious of his music. You can tell. Because I was watching his podcast with Joe Boy.
Yeah.
Right? And he was talking about making music that can be played in different rooms. Right? So when I was listening to him, I was thinking, okay, and hearing his album, I can tell, okay, he's very conscious of what he wants his sound to be like.
There's planning.
Yeah.
And I like that.
The bars is there, the rapping is there, but then at the same time, the melody is there, the vibes is there. If the chicks are around you, you can still vibe to it. If the vibes are there, you got what I mean? So I love the guy, man.
And that's also there's a message to it, like with the consenting. I love that I put that there. You know, like the first track, the comment on where it says the bet, but with consent. So he's teaching game. He's not saying
no. He's
so there's a message to it. It's not just rapping
and he talks about his faith. He talks about
he's big on his faith.
I was surprised with that.
He don't hide it too, which is different. So
man, he's cold, man.
Absolutely,
No.
He's cold.
Now the next topic that I saw over this weekend that I thought would be interesting to discuss was we saw the former NFF Nigerian Football Federation boss publicly criticized Davido in
was
his
funny.
terms, saying that they paid Davido like 100 grand, 19 grand, or 96
90
grand,
something grand,
and
yeah.
19 grand for his private jet, but he never showed up to the concert. And then, he started saying he needs to watch himself and be respectful and be humble, all of that stuff. Obviously, David came back ultimately, apologizing for not showing up for his fans, but he came back, saying that he had told them that he wasn't going to be available, but they kept on promoting the show
With his name on it. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that story, how the NFF guy handled it, and Davido's response?
I think it's a typical Niger style of handling them kind of things. No, seriously. It's a typical, the big boss comes and says, this, that, you, and then everyone keeps quiet.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. But kudos to Davido. He had to
Defend himself.
He told you lot, I'm not gonna make it from time, apparently. So why you still? So why did they go ahead promoting the whole show with his name on the bill? I mean, I don't know why.
I mean, the thing is, we are not on the inside in it. So if he told them that he wasn't gonna make it, and they kept on putting it out there with his name on it, then that's on them, right? That is their mess up. But then at the same time, because when I was researching on the whole thing, Googling about it, just doing my own research and everything, apparently, right, from what I saw from one of the blogs, that he was paid to be there.
Yeah.
He said he was going to be there.
Yeah.
But then
plans changed.
But then plans changed.
Yeah.
He ended up in Australia or something.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, cool. That's fine. Shit happens and everything. I think that whole thing is the whole logistics problem and everything, which I had to put myself in that position as well. I said, okay, if I had a gig in Nigeria and I had a gig in Australia where maybe I'm still
opening markets
and everything, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think for me, stuff happens like you said, where plans change. And just as Kelly said, one of my biggest problems is
airing people
for
out.
somebody in a senior position like that, who knows that at this level, Davido is no longer just an individual artist. That is a brand, an entity, a company, a corporation that has a CEO, that has a financial manager, it has a logistics manager. Before a decision is made for an artist to show up or not show up for an event at that level, there are levels to decisions. And if you want to engage them, whether you're disappointed or whatever, you're not going to engage the artist. You are more likely going to say, we spoke to, because you didn't speak to Davido. Let's get it right. Nobody booked Davido directly.
Right.
You booked him through his agent or his management.
Right.
So what you would have said was, we reached out to the management, we're not happy that happened, and we're waiting for the management to get back. And instantly, just saying that changes the line of attack to the artist.
Yeah.
There's a buffer where the artist does not feel directly attacked and having to respond to that man directly. Where people are now saying, the young people of today don't respect the elders because you addressed him personally. And at this level, for a fact, you didn't get Davido on the phone.
Right.
You didn't transfer money into his personal account.
Right.
You didn't speak to him about logistics. You spoke to management or an agent.
But then playing the devil's advocate.
Yes.
Yeah. What if he has tried to reach out to the management time after time, saying, hey, all right, cool, you guys didn't turn up. Right? Because my whole thing was...
I get it.
You got me? Because my whole thing was, all right, if you didn't turn up, why are you still holding on to the money then?
No, bro. At this level, you're most likely, once you pay, let me tell you something. Once you pay for an artist at that level, there are different things that happen. It's either, they said they found out since April or something that it wasn't going to be able to make the show.
Right.
But that's probably months into promoting the show
absolutely.
originally.
Absolutely.
So straight away, the deposit or whatever you've paid, is,
gone.
So now you negotiate another performance quite early. But when you flip it onto the organization, they're also thinking, if we came out the gate promoting Davido, the headliner for Warri again. It's big. People are excited. I'm unavailable.
Was popping everywhere.
So how do we now come out and say the
no, it's not.
headline artist is
not
no
showing
longer
up.
showing up?
Yeah. No, I understand that. I understand that.
It's a pickle.
Yeah.
So you just have to. What they would have done is you have to address the management.
No, absolutely.
This is a big man.
Absolutely.
The NFF is no small fry.
He opened himself. The thing is,
This is a big, successful man.
Yeah, I think the way he handled it on stage and everything, right?
He got personal there.
Yeah, he got very personal with it, you know. But the thing is, just playing the devil's card, just for conversation.
Yes.
Right? You know, I'm saying, okay, cool. What if he tried to reach
out
out to
and
the
he didn't?
management, and then this was maybe his last resort? He felt, okay,
Just
I've got to come up.
shake it up a little bit.
You know, but then just like you said, like, to me personally, there are ways to handle things. Because when you now do that, you now open yourself up,
Not only to attack from the artist, but also attack from the public.
from people, because Israel
Disrespect.
because Israel came out and said what he said now.
Yeah, everybody's
saying me. I'm saying you did not come correct.
Straight.
Yeah,
And
so-
you don't even have any direct
Exactly.
relationships with
That's what
Davido.
I'm
You
saying.
just think at that level, sir, we probably
can't-
should have handled it a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure that because of how important he is as a person, there's no way he could have tried to reach the management one
And
way
not
or
get
another. This man
I-
is
I
a
find it hard
powerful
to
man.
believe, yeah,
The
I find it
Warri
hard to
again
believe.
is arguably the most popular event in Warri, at least over the last 4 or
Yeah.
5 years
Yeah.
that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So there is no way that it will be that difficult to get through to somebody. But there was a lesson for all of us to learn from
Absolutely. No, I like the way Davido eventually handled it, because he said, okay, cool.
He apologized to
I'm
the
gonna
fans.
give back the money, but I'm gonna give it to a charity. Right? That was what he said, right? Yeah. Which to me,
And say he outperforming Warri.
yeah. You go. I mean, so I think at the end of the day, right, between him, this guy, and the Davido company, everything is all about the fans at the end of the day.
Facts.
Right? So
he was fighting because he felt fans paid to come see Davido they didn't see, and David as well. He's saying nobody's going to stop me to come perform for my fans. It's all about the fans.
Yeah, but then also with him, if he knew, just playing David's advocate now, if he knew, right, the promoters knew that Davido was not going to be there, right, what they could have easily done is to cancel these dates and find another date, isn't it?
No, but
Sometimes
it's
that
it's
thing is
a
so
full
tough,
show,
man.
innit? Like they've got loads of people on bill.
That
so,
other
yeah.
people are on. It's so tough. What they probably should have done early. I've been in those type of situations where you leave it too late, it becomes a big monster.
Yeah,
for
because
you.
that's what I'm saying. Because
That,
it's a
like
mess, isn't it?
the earlier you make that decision,
That's what I'm saying.
and just deal with the pain, then the
better.
better.
Yeah.
But leaving it too late now,
Crazy this.
it's now gonna create something where you're looking for excuses, you're looking for someone to blame, and you're partly the reason because you could have made a difficult decision early on, and everybody would have moved on quickly. You would have found a replacement. You would have, and then starting to say something about almost.
That's what I'm
now
saying.
putting, making it like
That's what I'm saying. You got me, because you're opening
a different kind of one.
a can of worms and everything for everyone to have an opinion and everything. But then I'm gonna ask you, like, why do you think recently, right, a lot of people have been coming at Davido?
I don't think a lot of people have been coming at him. I know AY made the joke, but to be honest with you, and I'll be very honest.
Do you
with
think
you,
that was a joke?
I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a joke.
But me too.
I thought
it was just me. I thought
That was not funny at all.
No.
I was watching that.
Okay,
I didn't laugh.
So for you,
Yeah,
it wasn't funny because there were sensitivities to the story.
absolutely.
And we all can agree to that. However, what we also can agree to is that comedians usually will use uncomfortable positions and stories to crack jokes.
Yes, that's true. But my whole thing is, right, we've seen comedians will use, just like you said,
Yeah.
they'll use the most uncomfortable
Yeah,
stuff and
yeah.
crack jokes and everything. But at least make it funny. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's laugh. You get me? Let's know this is comedy. But it felt like, when I was watching it, it felt like he was on stage
It was just
complaining, just literally just going off.
Yeah.
You go what I mean? So
I think
that was how I felt.
No, I mean,
that was how
because
I felt.
I seen it before I heard the whole
Yeah.
story about. So I
Yeah.
took it as a joke. I'm like, yo, this
Yeah.
is funny.
Yeah.
I found it funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. If he had removed David and put maybe someone like Two-Face in there,
Yeah.
people would have also gotten that joke like, oh, maybe because Two-Face has kids and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But it's the sensitivity where, these were situations that, first of all, David, nobody came out to confirm anything. And we all knew that it was going through a difficult time when
Yeah,
these
of course.
stories
Yeah,
were
yeah,
around.
yeah.
So a lot of us have that sensitive spot. Like, I'm
don't
not
go there.
too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. But if you look at it from the top, he's just making
it was
a
just a
joke.
plain
It was
joke.
just we all know what he went through with having kids.
Yeah,
He only had
exactly.
one kid.
Yes.
He only had one kid for over 12 or 13 years.
Yeah.
And it took him 13 years to have a second one.
Yep.
So that story was, he had a good setup. He had
The execution was not just there.
even the
And
execution was there.
It was there.
But it was the topic he chose, the person he chose, was sensitive to us because we all felt a part of that difficult time. Like, I'll tell you this, when those stories were popping up and stuff like that, I was more concerned about David as a person that I genuinely care about. That I felt like it was an attack. Even though people were like, oh, I saw people online, oh, it's you, man.
Which story are you talking about?
The fact that maybe somebody here is pregnant for him.
Okay, the
somebody
girls,
there is pregnant.
yeah.
Like, I felt, well, of course, women were like, oh, you people are you're always defending. And I felt like, yo, this really is an attack.
Yeah.
Because my man is just trying to put his
It
life
looked like
together.
one.
He's just coming back. He's had a very difficult
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
And all of a sudden, everybody's
is happening,
taking.
yeah.
So that's how I took it. So as a David fan, as a person, when that joke happened, even though I get what he was trying to do, I was like, ouch.
Yeah. No, I understand what he was trying to do. Yeah, I guess
But what about apologizing for that? What are your thoughts as a comedian, Kelly? What are your thoughts?
I don't
about
like now. I see it as a joke. So in that sense, that apology was not. I don't think he needed to apologize.
Absolutely.
Because you apologizing, that means you're thinking it wasn't really a
did
joke, though.
something,
So
yeah.
that means there was
there
ulterior
was
motive.
something- Yeah.
But if it was a joke, it's a joke.
It's a joke.
Most people, the difference is the loudest people in the room did not get the joke. Okay. But I think a lot of people got the joke.
Yeah. No, I guess you just want
So-
to. Okay, go on.
So it's like you apologizing. I'm thinking, okay, was it actually a plan to bash Davido's season kind of thing? Which
Yep.
I'm sure it wasn't, but
Yeah.
it kind of felt like that
Yeah.
after the apology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it felt like
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the end of it. Like maybe there was, and I know that I don't think there was an ulterior motive
Yeah,
to
I
it.
don't think.
No,
but
I
the
don't
apology
think.
made it feel like
Yeah, I don't think that there was an ulterior motive to it. I thought he was trying to crack a joke.
Yeah.
You go what I'm saying? Just like if you look at the whole thing, yeah, people crack on Nick Cannon the whole time.
every time.
It's basically the same shit, right? But the thing is, my whole thing is, if you're a comedian, which AY is and everything, right, and you want to use Davido, I don't have a problem with it personally, right? Anyone you want to use, but just execute it. Again, because when you bomb on stage,
Then
that
it's going to
is
be
when-
worse.
That is when it looks bad. You get what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with him trying to use Davido, anybody as has his whole thing. But the whole thing is, you have to execute that. You get me? If you don't execute it, now this is what you're gonna get. You get what I'm saying? Which is now gonna make you come and apologize. Which I don't think should have apologized. He should have just like.
and
fuck
David
it.
went on
I
his
bought.
page to say,
Which is the reason why
Nothing
he is a
spoiled.
good guy.
David's different.
I'm
that's
sure
really
it
why
was.
he's
I
a
mean,
good
I'm
guy.
not.
I
I'm not in
know
his room,
for-
but I'm sure he found it
I
funny.
know
too, like,
he got it
Yeah.
as, because you have to understand that even though David is a Nigerian, David is also an American, where he understands
The roast
these type of
culture,
things.
yeah.
Exactly, the roasting culture.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So even if he had felt uncomfortable, how some of us probably might have felt, he still had a space in his heart to understand what this guy was trying to do.
yeah.
And that's why
No, he's a cool
the
guy.
minute the apology dropped, he was the first person in the comments to say it's okay.
Salute.
Nothing
You
spoiled.
know, and for me, that's just a testament once again
Salute,
to the
salute,
personality
salute,
of the
salute.
brother.
Yeah, nah, he's a very cool guy because I've heard. Obviously, I've never met him, but from what I've heard,
We gonna
and
make it
everything,
happen.
like he's yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna make
Salute,
it.
salute, salute.
But we're here,
salute,
but
salute,
we're making
salute,
loads of
salute.
shit happen.
We're gonna make it happen.
Salute,
We're
salute.
gonna make it happen,
Yeah,
man. He's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
guy.
The thing is, from what we've heard, he's very down to earth.
Nah, he's a
you
good
get
guy.
me? Like he's very like some artists would have been like, felt a type of way and
Yeah,
everything. But
yeah.
for the fact that he replied to brother and say, "Yo,
It's okay, man.
it's all
And
good."
trust
that
me,
tells the kind of person he is.
Davey could show up at AY's show in the next 1 week. That's the kind of guy
and
this
he's
guy
having a good
is.
time.
And be
I'm
like-
telling you,
and
he
be like,
can
yo,
show up
what-
on there
now
and
my
perform.
team, you know,
Yeah,
small,
he'll
like,
perform.
Yeah.
And he'll perform and take the that's him. And that's one of the reasons why I continuously say that his personality is very, very necessary for our culture because he shows us different things. He shows us what humility can do, especially when you've come from such success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not only individually, but also talking about your family. It shows what selflessness can do. We know how many people he's been selfless for, how many people he's tried to put on, So he continues to be just a beacon of that. And I want that element in the game as much as we have everybody else, because nobody is bad. I want people to understand.
I think so.
I hear that.
Nobody, trust me, nobody is bad. You know why I say that?
Why?
Because somebody might find your personality, unpleasant.
Yeah.
Even though you ain't done nothing to nobody, some people might just be like, nah, man, I don't rock with Toby.
Yeah,
man.
I
Like,
don't rock with that guy.
hey, man, that guy, man, I don't think. And you find, and they would do anything to stop you from achieving your success because they have a person. So once you realize that everybody has different tastes and personalities and stuff like that, you understand nobody really
Actually
is
bad.
bad.
Yeah. No, I get your
Everybody just has where they face. Some people might just be able to face this little corner with these two people and be the greatest personality to them, whereas some people have that energy to be able to take their personality and face the whole world and be great to everybody. It just it doesn't mean that person that's only being nice to two people is like a terrible spirit. It just means that they're not comfortable doing it with everybody else.
Yeah. Nah, man, like the thing is, like, back to Davido. He's a very cool guy. You see a lot of people around him and everything.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's feeding a lot of people, right? Like it seems like he's taking care of a lot of people.
When you're in that position,
You know,
man,
yeah.
you got no choice.
Now you're saying that it will be interesting to find out, what he thinks about what Jay-Z said.
Oh man, of course. I know Jay-Z said something like, if you don't owe it to anybody in your family to kind of take care of them and give them handouts if you're a successful person. And the whole world went crazy about that because they felt like he's talking about 4K. This is a billionaire. He's worth about $2 billion. And
I think that's
4K
entitlement, though, bro.
That's entitlement. However, I think not only as Africans or Afro-Caribbeans or African Americans, as black people, it is part of our blood that
take care of
when
people.
you are successful, your success reflects purely on your family. And yes, we've had anomalies to this where people have been successful and they just, their families in the slums
just jet
and
out.
they're
they're flying private jets and mama's back home scrubbing and scrounging. We've seen people like that.
Yeah.
But the general consensus is that once you win,
Your
the
family's gotta
family
win.
is priority.
Yeah.
And
When you say a family, though, what do you mean by
I
family?
mean, your immediate and
Siblings?
some of your
Parents?
yes, and then some of the other people maybe you grew up with that Like, let me tell you something. One thing I found out, right? Some people can learn to be businessmen and women. Other people are born with it.
Yeah, cool.
Where they know how to turn a pound into two.
Yeah.
And some people cannot learn and are not born with those.
Yeah.
So just because you're great at this and whatever, and your family member keeps asking for 2 bags and
But
throwing
that's
it
where
down
the problem is, bro. But that's where the problem is, bro. Because I'm hearing you man talking everything, yeah. You man sound like you're obligated, yeah, to give handouts. Nah, bro. Nah, like the thing is, moms, pops, yeah, it's cool. Siblings, you know. If the siblings can come to me, if the siblings can come with a proper plan and say, you know what, this is what I want to do and everything, but to keep on giving handouts and everything, and then you go blow it and everything, come back, go blow it and come back, you know, like, which to me, when I look at someone like Davido, you know, he's got his boy is his manager, he's got his press, like, people around him are working, earning money, you get what I'm saying? So to me, that's how I look at it, right? If you got that type of money, right, people around you to work.
Some people are just not,
but
they just might not be able.
But that's what I'm saying. If people are just studying up looking for handouts, but hell no.
But the thing is, with a little bit of white wisdom, like, you know, you can identify who's here for handouts. Though. Yeah. Like, if you're in a family where that one sibling, you know, he doesn't want to do nothing, then you know what to give. Like, you know, you're not giving him.
Just keep him alive.
Exactly.
Yep, but then
you're gonna keep him alive, man.
People are not gonna call you the bad guy now.
If you give him 5 bags, he's gonna waste it.
He's gonna blow it, bro.
Exactly. You know, so that's how you
keep him alive. Just take care of him, man.
And you know what? Sometimes the best way to cut someone off is by giving them something, because sometimes when you give it to them and they say, yo, bro, I'm gonna give it back to you, bro, trust me, you be like, no, bro, I'm gonna give it back to you, and then boom, they stop answering your calls or whatever. That's the easiest way to cut them off, bro.
Don't.
You guys saying, but yeah, like, it's just one of them ones, because when you look at someone like Davido, you look at someone like Burner and everything, like the family, everyone has a job there, everyone is putting in the work, everyone is earning money and everything. You know, and I swear, when you speak to them, they'll probably might even tell you, nah, I don't really give out handouts like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep on giving out handouts. No,
you can't. Of course,
people will always keep on. Find me something,
You can't keep. You get me? You can't keep on giving handouts. But I think the first thing is that, as a successful black person, because of the difficulties that we've had to go through economically, you know, finding opportunities, and it's just in us to ensure that the family is good.
Absolutely.
And also is a thing of pride. You know, one of the first things, you know, some of the artists, like, I remember Skibby telling me that, yo, when I made my first money, blah, 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 I bought a house, you know. Yeah, my mom's in my house.
Yeah,
you know,
that's standard.
You know, that's you standard. Know. So it's almost as important to brag for status, like you're buying chains.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a black person.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's in our culture,
moved moms out of hood.
Yeah. No, that's standard. That's standard. Moms, pops, that's standard. Siblings, okay, we might have discussions and everything.
But if you actually look at it, it is handout. Yeah. Like, if you're moving mom out of the new crib, that's a handout.
Nah, that's not a handout.
No, but it is.
Moms. Nah, that's moms
though,
bro.
What you think.
No, but that's exactly. My point is, handouts are not. It's handout. But it's just knowing how to. Who to give it. Deserves it. That's the word.
Yeah, man. It's so good, bro. It's so good.
Finishing off, I just wanted us to touch this one briefly. We all seen Drake drop the album this week.
Love it.
It's tipped to sell over 450K first week. Of course, Drake records, Drake numbers.
The boy.
Stupid.
The boy.
But there's been a lot of criticism. We've seen Charlemagne. We've seen Joe Budden. We've seen a lot of people speak about the album. Oh, it's not the best Drake album. We want him to keep rapping. You know, Drake is doing too much, hanging out with these young kids. They're influencing his bars. We don't hear the old Drake bars. What are your thoughts?
Do you think it's hate? Because Charlemagne has been shooting at Drake for the longest. When you go through your history, it didn't start today.
Yeah. He's
been going at the guy proper, you know. So when I listen to the take and everything, especially when it comes to Joe Budden and all that, right? I actually agree with him when it comes to the album. I think Drake is 37, right? When you listen to his album, I think he needs some grown spice in the album. Like when you look at J. Cole, when you look at Kendrick, especially his last album, you can tell that Kendrick has grown. That last album was like the 444, like Jay-Z's 444, right? So when I look at Drake, the music is good. he's still rapping his ass off and everything. But I still kind of feel like he's really focusing on the kids.
Kelly,
right?
What are your
But
thoughts?
when you say kids, like it's focused on the market. I would argue it's
Yes.
not kids. You kind of kids. That's where they hate. Like they say, Joe Budden. We're saying for kids. Who are kids? These are people buying your album.
True.
For God's sake. So
True.
if you say kids, whatever, he's just in the market, in the game.
Yeah.
So if him sounding like Jay, I don't want. I want to listen to a Drake and him sounding like this. Because that's what I expect of him. I don't expect to go to a Drake, to listen to a Drake album and expect, grown ass, like you call it grown ass J. Cole kind of bars.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I get it though.
For me, I think, just as Kelly said, for me, I think the criticism, one of my friends sent me a message and said, listen, the great thing about greats like Drake is if you want the old Drake, it's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there.
Okay.
It's right there. It's right there.
It's on Apple.
That's simple.
If you want So Far Gone or you want whatever it is, go back.
Yeah.
The great thing about Drake, just as Kelly said, is he's focusing on market. He's always had the greatest ingenious ways of reinventing himself.
Yes.
And getting back to what's happening and connecting with the youths and the people that are listening and buying music right now. And what he's doing today is not different to what he's done over the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Absolutely.
With the bars and people criticizing the bars, how many people are, for me, J. Cole's music is different, Kendrick's music is different. And when I listen to those cats, I'm not listening with the same type of
Ease.
excitement I want to listen to a Drake album.
Yeah.
Yes, Kendrick is dropping bars and telling stories, his metaphors, his cadence. It's crazy.
But don't
J.
you want to
Cole-
see that from Drake though?
No, I want to see Drake from Drake. From the beginning, Drake has always been, he's always been singing, rapping.
Yeah.
That's always been Drake. At that beginning, he posted a comment actually yesterday of somebody commenting on his Take Care project, saying, "Oh, this was trash," blah 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 blah.
Yes,
but now we call that a classic.
That's a classic though. I'm not gonna lie.
You see? So from day one, they've always been like, man, I ain't getting buddied by a singing, rapping nigga.
Yeah. And
No,
then
that's
he
true.
bought it, my man.
So everybody's always had a problem with his style, his flavor, the fact that women love him, and the fact that his success has been unprecedented. People have always had a problem with that. And I think that has kind of been a theme in the air around this album. The fact that, man, here goes Drake again.
gonna sing,
Singing
rap,
and
But then at the same time, right? I think sometimes, right? Because before the album dropped, Lil Yachty on his podcast was talking about this is one album that is so different that we're gonna hear the best part.
People forget that. Lil Yachty was speaking about his perception of Drake bars.
Yeah, but when you
so
say
to
that,
him, he said to me, I heard one of Drake's hardest bars on this project. But that's the
not
young.
everybody.
That's not,
Yeah.
So the same way Lil Yachty was talking is how now everybody else, Joe Budden now or Charlemagne, sadly felt like they were speaking for the entire world.
yeah, they know
When they
though.
could have just made it an individual thing. Unfortunately, again, even though they made it an individual thing, because they're big platforms and loudspeakers, once you say anything at that level, it looks like you're speaking for the entire audience.
I think
And there's a little bit more pain to that.
Yeah, I think if Joe kind of stuck with the album, talking about what the album was or wasn't, I don't think it would have gotten a lot of backlash. But when he went personal, because he said some things and everything, where he now went personal, I think that was where everybody was like, "Yo, what's going on?" Like,
It's uncalled for. That.
is this? You know what I mean? So Drake obviously replied, his dad actually,
said something.
his dad said something as well. You got what I mean? But it's just one of them ones. But I love Drake. I love Drake. I love this album. Don't get it twisted. I love the album. But I think sometimes I want to hear some interpersonal thing, just like Take Care. You get me? Like you got that personal side of him and everything.
He
You
said
know what I
it.
mean?
He talked about being pained that he lost the Grammys to Rihanna. He talked about, but people are just not picking those up, you know, and they're picking it up for different reasons. Like, oh, why you hating on Riri?
Hey, he went on Rihanna though.
He
went on Rihanna though.
He went on
Riri though. Jesus.
So that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but golly, bro.
Once again, man, you know, it's a pleasure to have you guys
Nah,
here.
salute,
We're going to
bro.
do this a little bit more often. Like
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
this is the Fresh Off the Boat podcast on the Afrobeats podcast.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Across the pod.
Yes.
Across the pond
Yes.
in London. So make
That's a
sure you
fact.
hit these guys up, subscribe to their podcast,
Yep.
follow them.
Yeah.
Incredible conversations on there. As always, catch us here every single week with a brand new guest, and we'll be bringing the guys back. Ladies and gentlemen, my guys from Fresh Off the Boat podcast.
Yes, sir.
on
Yes,
the
sir.
Afrobeats
Mama, we made it.
podcast.
Mama, we made it. You get me? Mama, we made it. Yes,
Peace.
sir. Salute,
And
salute,
we're
salute,
out.
salute,
We're
salute,
out.
salute, salute.
The Afrobeat Podcast.
Right. Right. Right.